Before we jump into this episode, I want to invite you to join our community to help you become a better steward, scale to billions, and ultimately give more or all of it away. All I want you to do is to click the subscribe button right now. I love your support. It's incredible to see your comments, and we're just getting started. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me. Welcome to the Build It to Billions podcast, where we guide successful entrepreneurs and investors on their journey from millions to billions. We believe that the key to scaling your business and compounding your wealth starts every single day with a mindset and practice of stewardship over ownership and applying billionaire biblical principles. Our ultimate goal is to help you scale and compound your wealth and life so you can give more or all of it away to help MVPs. I'm your host today, Brett Swartz, and every episode we feature some of the world's top entrepreneurs, millionaires, and billionaires. They share their principles, values, secrets, and wisdom, providing each of us with the insights we need to reach the next level of success, faith, and impact. Hey, I'm excited about our next guest. He's out of the Philadelphia area, and he is the chairman of Sterling Trustee LLC and oversees Sterling's vision and mission. He has spent over 15 years in the trust industry, operating expertise, and has led the growth of Sterling to over $10 billion of assets under administration. He is the co-founder and board member of Wealth Hub, a software application built on Salesforce to streamline trust administration. He's also the co-founder and former president of South Dakota Trust Association, and so much more. Please welcome to the show with me, Antony Joffe. Antony, how are we doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And for our listeners getting to know you for the first time, would you give us a little bit more about your story and your current focus?
Yeah, sure. So Sterling Trustees is a South Dakota chartered trust company. We work with high net worth, ultra high net worth families around the world that are looking for an independent trustee to serve their families. Mainly comes about, entrepreneurial families that have created wealth, don't want to use family members or big bank trust company to serve as trustee and are looking for a boutique trust company that purely acts as a trustee to serve in that role so that there's no conflict of interest between us and, say, a bank that might be serving as a trustee.
Excellent. And before we dive into the topic today, which is the power of independent thinking, I do want to take one other step back, Antony. I believe we've all been given certain gifts in this life, and these gifts have been given us to be blessing and help to others. So what would you say is Antony's, superpower or gifts that you were given, and how do you use those to bless people today?
Wow, it's a good question. I think, I think being in the trust industry, you need a bunch of combination of skills, obviously investment management skills, tax management skills, accounting management skills, legal management skills. But, I think at the end of the day, I'm really a high price psychiatrist. So I think it's really the ability to get inside a client's head, understand, where this wealth is created, how they want it to filter down to future generations, and what are the things or the obstacles that potentially get in the way from making that happen. So I think maybe my ability to maybe understand that and work with the families on a, I guess more of a psychological plane, I guess maybe is the better way to a word to explain it, but it's that sort of just really understanding the family dynamics.
Thank you for sharing that, Antony. That's very insightful and helpful. It sounds like multidimensional skills of helping people to get clear, get unstuck, and get going. And so let's dive into that, the power of independent thinking. So Antony, what's the number one secret to getting clear for with the families that you're working with when they're working with an independent trustee like you?
Yep. Well, I think, as I said earlier, the reason, people seek us out is, I think, most people are familiar with big bank trust companies, take a Wilmington Trust or Northern Trust, where, they act as your trustee. They also manage your assets, and they also are the custodian of your assets. And you can imagine if they're doing a bad job managing the assets, unlikely the trustee side of the house is going to fire them and move those assets to Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley or whatever. In our role, we purely act as a trustee, and so we eliminate that conflict of interest. We don't manage any assets ourselves. We allow the client to work with any financial advisor that they want, and then we'll oversee them, and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. If they're not performing, we'll fire them and we'll move the assets somewhere else. So we eliminate that, conflict of interest between an investment advisor and a trustee.
So if you like this little short clip of the interview I just did, click over here to watch the full interview. And please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much, everybody.